Today we are taking a look at the Redtiger F17 Plus dash cam.
This is a 4-channel dash cam featuring 4 different cameras, including a front view camera, front cabin camera, rear camera, and a rear cabin camera.
Let's take a look inside the box and see what's all included. This sheet here is going to give you a layout of the main camera, showing you some of the buttons, the screen, the inside camera, camera ports, front camera, and then the mount. You can see that everything is nicely packaged. Inside here, you're going to have your user manual, and they do include 4 electrostatic stickers, which comes in very handy in case you mess up or you get your windshield replaced and you have to remount your camera. Inside this box here, you're going to have your power supply cable to charge your camera. You get your tool to tuck in the wires, your adhesive for mounting the camera, and then some cable clips as well. Taking a closer look at the power supply cable here, you can see this is going to plug into your cigarette lighter adapter in your vehicle. They do give you an extra charging port here. This is a USB-A, so if you need to charge your phone, they give you an extra long cable to power the camera, and then this goes out to a USB-C. Your trim tool to tuck in your wires. This is going to be your adhesive camera mount here, which is going to mount to the windshield. You can remove the camera without having to remove this. So you can see you can unlock and lock the camera onto this mount. They do give you an extra adhesive pad. This will be the adhesive pad for the rear camera. They give you 5 wire clips here with a sticky back and a mini Allen wrench. Inside this box, you're going to have your rear camera cable that connects your rear camera to your front camera. And as you can see, this is very long in case you have a very large SUV. And this is going to be USB-C to USB-C. This is the main front camera unit here. This is going to face forward. This camera features the Sony Starvis 2 2.7K resolution. This camera is fully adjustable. You can go up or down if you want, or side to side. On the other side here, you're going to have your front cabin camera here, and this is fully adjustable as well. And this is going to be a 1080p resolution camera. It does feature a full color touchscreen here, and you can have all 4 cameras displaying at once. On the bottom here, you're going to have a bunch of different buttons here. You're going to have your power button, your main menu button, left button, right button, and then your OK button. If you don't want to use these buttons, you can always use them on the touchscreen as well. On the left side of the camera here, you're going to have your SD card slot. Now this card is included with the camera, and Redtiger supplies you with a 128 gig SD card. If you want to go bigger, you can. This camera will support up to 512 gigs. What's nice about this camera as well is that it automatically cords every time you get into the vehicle, and then it overwrites the oldest clips. This unit does feature a 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is going to come in super handy when transferring clips to your phone from the Redtiger app. And you can get the Redtiger app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. On top here, they do include an extra mount here with an adhesive backing. So if you wanted to take this camera off and use it on another vehicle, you could always do that and move over your power cord. This is where your rear camera cord is going to plug into, and then of course your main power source here from your cigarette lighter will plug into there. And this mount is fully adjustable. That's why they include the Allen wrench there. This camera does have the enhanced night mode, which features the IMX675, and then of course the Sony Starvis 2. Does include the WDR wide dynamic range, and then the IR light, which is infrared light sensors. This unit also features voice control, which comes in really handy if you want to be hands-free and less distractions. Another great feature about this camera is it has the 24-hour parking mode. So this camera will monitor your car day or night while it's parked. You can always log on to your Redtiger app and monitor it through there as well. But this will hopefully help deter anybody from breaking into it and doing any hit and runs, any type of vandalism, anything like that. But in order to have the 24-hour parking mode, you will need to hardwire this into your car. Now, Redtiger does sell a separate kit where you can hardwire it, and that's what I will be doing with this camera. This is going to be your rear camera unit. As you can see, you got 2 different cameras on here. The one on the left is going to be your rear windshield camera. The one on the right is going to be your rear cabin camera. Both of these cameras are going to be 1080p resolution. You can see it does have a sticky back here, so this is going to stick directly onto your rear windshield. The rear windshield camera is adjustable, as you can see. Same with the rear cabin camera, and this will go all the way around if you want to. This is going to come in very handy for you Uber and Lyft drivers if you want to protect yourself. Also comes in handy for moms with newborns that have the rear-facing car seats. On the side here, you can see where the cord is going to mount to, and then that's going to lead directly to your front camera. This here is going to be the Redtiger Hardwire kit. Inside that, you're going to have your instruction sheet. This will be the Hardwire switch kit. They give you 8 fuse taps, and this is what we'll use to wire in the Hardwire switch here. They give you a bunch of variety of fuse types depending on what style you have for your vehicle. You get an adhesive pad for the hardwire switch, and then another tool to tuck in the wires on the trim. I am going to do a full install on this, and I will be wiring up the hardwire kit. When you go to mount the front camera, you want to make sure that your front windshield is nice and clean. You can use some Windex, alcohol wipes, whatever you want to use. But you want to mount this to where you can still see the screen, but it's not blocking your line of vision. And then you want to mount it to where the front cabin camera can see you as well. Put your electrostatic sticker on first. Then you can take your camera here, go ahead and slide this bracket off. Peel off the backing for your adhesive strip here. We'll get that pressed on there. Just try to get that even. Be sure to remove the protective sticker off the camera before you slide it on. And go ahead and slide on your camera. For those of you that are not running the hardwire kit, you're going to take your cigarette lighter adapter. You're going to plug that into your power port on the right side. You're going to use the supplied trim tool. You're going to take your wire and you're going to run this up along your headliner here. And then you'll use this tool to tuck the wire back behind the headliner all the way over here to the pillar. Tuck it back down under the pillar, over here to the weather stripping. Tuck it back behind all this weather stripping, down the side of the dash to the bottom portion of the dash. You're going to tuck that up underneath your dash. Come over here to your side trim piece here. Tuck it back behind there. And then, of course, this is going to plug into the cigarette lighter. But since I won't be using the cigarette lighter adapter, I'm going to be using the hardwire switch here. So I'm going to take this and plug that into the power port. I'm also going to take the rear camera cord here, and I'm going to plug that into the unit up here because I'm going to run that at the same time. And next, I'm going to go ahead and start tucking those back into the headliner down along the passenger side here. I was able to run both wires along the headliner here all the way over to the pillar. I stopped with the rear camera wire right here because I'm going to take that. I'm going to go all along the top of the car here, back behind this mount, and then into the weather stripping back to the hatch there. The other wire, I took all the way down, back along here. I pulled off this weather stripping. You just want to be careful because if you have side airbags there, you don't want to disrupt those. But I tucked that wire all the way back down along here, down the weather stripping, and luckily, I do have a fuse box mounted right underneath the glove box here, and that's how I'm going to use the hardwire kit. So I ended up running the rest of that rear wire all up along the weather stripping here, back behind these plastic pieces, back to the hatch. And I came out along here, ran it back behind this weather stripping, and then ended right here. And you can see all the leftover cable that I have, so you should have plenty if you have a full-size SUV. I'm going to have to tuck all this excess back into the panel here. Now, since this is a hatchback, I'm going to have to run this cord up to the camera there, so I'm going to have a lot of loose wire hanging down because you need to be able to open and close the hatch. So probably at a later date, I'm not going to do that in this video, but I'm going to run it underneath the headliner here, up through this rubber boot, and then back behind the panel here going up to the camera. With the hatch up, I'm going to attach the electrostatic sticker, and I'm going to go just a little bit down from the brake light there. That way the brake light doesn't reflect off of it. Go right in the center. Take your cable and you're going to plug that into the rear camera. Now we can wire in our hardwire kit to the fuse panel. You want to take a look at your hardwire switch here. You want to make sure that that's on the 12 volt or 24 volt setting. Most cars are going to be set to that. If your car does have a 12.4 volt system or a 24.4, you can move that up. If it has 11.6 or the 23.6 volt, you can move it down. But most likely it's going to be right in the middle. Most cars are going to be a 12 volt system. And then you're going to have 3 wires coming off of that. These are nicely labeled. You can see your black wire here. That's going to be a ground source. You're going to connect that to a ground. This red wire is going to be the accessory. So we need to find a fuse that has only power to it when the key is turned on, but we don't want power to it when the key is turned off. So we need to find a fuse for that one. This yellow one is going to be a constant 12 volt source. So you can see that says B positive. So we need to find a fuse that has a constant 12 volts going to it, even with the car off. And they do give you a bunch of different fuse taps here. So you want to check and see what style fuse your car has, and you want to pick out the 2 that will work. For this car I have, it's going to be this style of fuse here. So I'm going to pick both of these out of the pile. And then what these are going to do is these are going to plug directly into here once we figure out what fuse we're going to plug those into. These are equipped with 15 amp fuses, so I'm going to try to find a couple 15 amp fuses that I can tap into. In order to check how much voltage is going to a fuse, we're going to need to use a multimeter such as this. You're going to want to set that to the volts DC setting, and you're going to go on the 20 volts max. So turn that over to the 20. You're going to have two leads coming off of your meter. You're going to have a red one here. So this is what we're going to check to see how much voltage is going to the fuse. Your other one you're going to want to touch to a good known ground source, such as a bare metal or a screw like this. So unfortunately, I'm not able to get my camera underneath the glove box there to give you guys a good enough view of what I'll be doing. So I came underneath the hood here to show you guys exactly what I'll be doing. It's the same exact procedure as what I'm going to be doing under the glove box. But you want to locate your fuse panel here. And if you notice, I got 4 different 15 amp fuses that I could go off of. So now we want to check to see if there's any voltage going to these with the car off. So I'm going to start out on this one here. So you're going to take your 2 leads, your black lead here, your negative, you're going to connect to a good ground source. So I'm going to go off of right there. You're going to take this other one and you're going to touch the top of the fuse here. So you can see there's 2 little silver portions on top of the fuse there. You just stick your lead on there and then you look at your meter. You can see nothing's changing. So there's no voltage going to this fuse here. Let's check this other one. You can see that one, I do have 12.4 volts going to it. Check the other side, same thing. Let's go ahead and check this fuse. It's going to be the same, 12.4. And let's check this last one here. Same thing, 12.4. So that means all 3 of these fuses are going to be hot. So there's a constant 12 volts going to these fuses here. So if I wanted to, I could connect my yellow wire to any one of these 3 fuses here. This other one, as you can see, there's still no voltage going to it. So let me go ahead and turn the key on and let's see if that gives voltage to that fuse. And now with the key on, if I go ahead and connect my ground, check voltage to this, you can see now I have voltage, 12.1 volts going to this fuse. So then I can go ahead and connect my red wire to this fuse here. So let me shut this off and I'll show you exactly how you'll do that. So what you would do is you take a pair of pliers, you're going to pull out your 15 amp fuse, and then you're going to take your fuse tap. You're going to set this into your fuse tap here, the fuse you just pulled out. So that's going to slide into there like that. And then you're just going to go ahead and put this into where that old fuse was. You're going to slide that down in there, just like that. And then you're going to connect this one. This will go to the other red wire on the Hardwire kit there. And then you're going to do the same exact thing for the other wire. So let me pull this back out of here. You're going to take out that 15 amp fuse and you'd use your other tap here, and you're going to wire this into the yellow wire, because the yellow wire you're going to want constant 12 volts to. And then of course you'll connect your ground wire up to your good ground source. So I got this all wired up here. I found a couple 15 amp fuses right here. This bottom one's going to be the constant 12 volts. So I got my yellow wire going to this one here. And then this top one is only when the key is turned on, it supplies 12 volts. So I got my red wire going to that. And then I got my ground coming off going up to there. And then you can see I mounted the switch here with the sticky back, just stuck that up there. I got that on the 12 volt setting. So once you get the camera all wired up, you can go ahead and fire it up here. And it'll ask you a couple questions once it does turned on. Now I already went through some of these settings. You can see you got the light coming on there, so it should automatically come on once the key's turned on. There you can see starting to fire up. And as you can see, it goes straight to all 4 cameras. So all 4 cameras are working. And just taking a closer look at the cameras here. So your top one's going to be your front view camera. This bottom left one's going to be your front cabin camera. As you can see, I'm recording with my phone here, so that's blocking it. You got your, on the top right there, your rear cabin camera. You can see that gives you a good view of your whole car from the back. And then of course your rear camera here. And if you don't want all 4 cameras displaying at once, you can change that with this button all the way to the right here. You can go through your camera, so you can see there's our front camera, our front cabin camera, rear camera, and then our rear cabin camera. And you can go back to all 4 cameras. This button here is going to take a photo of your cameras, so it takes a picture and stores it for you. This next button here is going to be your settings, and it's automatically going to stop recording once you go to your settings. This is going to bring up the whole settings menu. So I'll start out
With the first one here, that's going to be your resolution. So if you want to change the resolution of your cameras, of course, the front one's set right now at 2.7K, and then other ones are set at 1080p, but you can change that if you want to. Sound record, if you want to record the sound in your cabin, I got that set to on. Loop recording. So on this loop recording here, you can set it to 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. I got it set at 5 minutes. So what that's doing is it's going for 5 minutes, and then it just keeps looping, recording. So it's recording big clips. If you want it to go to smaller clips, you can go to 1 minute clips, and then it just keeps storing 1 minute clips in your memory. But I prefer to keep it on the 5 minutes, so that's one big video that you can download to your phone or whatever it may be. Your G sensor, that's going to be for when the car is parked, or if you get into an accident, it's going to set that off, and you can set the sensitivity level of that G sensor. Fatigue reminder, that's going to be if you're doing long road trips and you want it to remind you to take a break. You got your Wi-Fi here. That's what you're going to use to download your clips. So you're going to look for this on your Wi-Fi settings, and then there's your Wi-Fi password. Got your volume, depending on how high you want the volume on the actual unit itself. Click tone, if you want to turn on or off the click tone, you can hear it beeping every time I click it. Startup sound, you guys heard that when the camera fired up, you can turn that on or off. Screensaver, this is where the screen just turns off, but it is still recording even with the screen off. You can set that to 15 minutes, 1 minute, or 3 minutes. That just keeps the heat down. Even though this is hardwire, it's not going to save your battery or anything. It's just going to keep the heat down on the screen here. The voice control, that's going to come in very handy, especially if you have a manual car or a stick shift. It's nice to use the voice commands. You can turn that on or off. And then if you look here, these are all the different voice commands that you can use. And I'll go through some of those here in a little bit. This IN-F recording, that's going to be if you want to turn off your front camera and only use your back camera. You can turn that on or off. And then the IN-R is going to be the same thing. If you only want to use your front camera, you can turn off your back camera. The mirror flip here, this is going to be if your rear camera is mounted upside down for depending on your car, but this one's mounted normal, so we don't have to use the mirror flip, but you can flip that to where the image will be the opposite way. Parking mode, that's going to be what we'll want to set up, especially since we hardwired this. You can turn that off. You can have it start recording once the sensor starts tripping, or you can just do a 12-hour time-lapse recording or a 24-hour time-lapse recording. I'm going to pick the 12-hour. This GPS, that's just showing the status of the GPS position. You can see it's working. Date stamp, that's going to put a date on your videos. If you want to, you can turn that on or off. Speed stamp, same thing. If you want it to display your speed on your videos, you can turn that on or off. GPS stamp, if you want to show where you were at that time on the video, you can stamp that onto your videos. And then your speed unit here, you can change from kilometers or miles per hour, depending on where you live. Then you got your language here. You got a bunch of different languages you can choose from. So as you can see, we'll keep that on English. Clock setting, you can change how your date is displayed, and then also if you need to adjust your time style, you can use the 12-hour or the 24-hour format on that. Time zone, that's where you're going to change your time zone depending on where you're at. This DST is going to be daylight saving time. If you want to enable that, you can. This flicker, depending on where you live, this is going to be on your videos where the lights start to flicker. So I like to keep that on just the 60 hertz. Format reminder, if you want to format your SD card there, it just kind of reminds you. You got your format SD card. So if you want to erase everything and format the card, you can do it there. Card speed, that's going to show you how much you got on there. And this reset setup, so you can reset everything on the screen here if you wanted to. Scroll down here, this is going to be your app. So you can use that QR code to download the app on your phone. And then of course, product information. This just kind of shows you what firmware you got installed on here. And then if you need to contact the help center, this should just give you a QR code you can scan. And if you guys notice this number down here, so this is going to be your loop recording. So I have the loop recording set to 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, it's going to reset. So it's just continuously recording. So anytime you have the vehicle on or the key turned on, it's going to automatically start recording. And then depending on what your loop setting is, this is going to do 5-minute videos each time, and then it just keeps overlapping itself, storing it to the memory. Now I'll just show you a couple of the voice commands you can do. So you can just say, show front camera. You can see it shows the front camera. Show rear camera. Or you can say, turn off recording. You can see it stops recording. Or you can even do the turn off screen. And then you got this lock button here, so you can lock a video if you want to. So if you got a really important video and you don't want it to overwrite it, you can lock that video in just by pressing that button, or you can even use the voice command and it'll lock that video for you. And then this video here is going to be your playback of all your videos. You can scroll through some of your videos depending on which camera you want to look at that you recorded on. So if you do your rear camera here, you can see there's some of the clips from earlier that I did. Or you can do front camera here. So there's some more clips of my front camera.
And here's a clip of the front camera in the daytime. As you can see, the car in front of me, you can clearly make out the license plate number, and you can almost make out the license plates of the cars next to me. As we start to go here, you can see the street signs. Also a clear view of the pedestrians on the sidewalk there. So overall, it's a really good picture on the front camera. This is a clip of the front cabin cam. I'm going to let you hear the actual audio from the camera. It's going to be pretty loud because this car does have an exhaust on it.
Now this car is super loud. It does have a loud exhaust on it, so I'm giving you an audio clip of what it sounds like inside the car, so you can kind of get a feel for how loud the mic is, but it should be able to pick up you and then also your passengers in the back seat as well.
This is a clip of the rear cabin camera. As you can see, that's pretty good quality as well. And this is going to be, like I said, perfect for you Uber and Lyft drivers there to keep an eye on your back passengers. And if you notice on the lower left-hand corner, you got your date there. And then you also have your time. And then on the right-hand side, I have the GPS enabled here. So it shows your GPS coordinates. And then you can also see your miles per hour down there on the lower right-hand corner. And here's a clip of the rear camera in the daytime. As you can see on that white van there, we can clearly make out the license plate. And now this back window does have a little bit of a tint on it. There's, I think, about 25% is the darkness on the tint. But as you can see, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. Still pretty clear. This is a clip of the front camera at nighttime. You can clearly see these pedestrians walking by. And then this white truck turning, you can almost make out the license plate, but a really clear picture at nighttime. You can see the street sign there. As we start to move here, you can almost make out the license plates on the parked cars there. If the video was stopped, I probably could make them out a little bit better, but overall, really good picture with the front camera at nighttime. Here's a clip of the inside front cabin camera. You can see it's a little bit grainy, but overall you can still clearly see what's going on inside your cabin. And you can make out the back seats there. So if you had passengers in the back seat, you could see what they were doing as well. This is a shot of the rear cabin camera at night. Again, it's a little bit grainy, kind of like the front cabin camera, but you can still clearly make out what's going on in your back seats there. So again, good for Uber, Lyft drivers, even moms with newborns that have the rear-facing car seats. You can see in the upper right-hand corner there, my wire did come off a little bit there from one of the clips there. But like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to tuck that up into the actual hatch. But overall, the rear inside cabin camera is still pretty good quality. And lastly, here's a shot of the rear camera at nighttime. You can see the window is a little dirty there, but it's still pretty clear. And again, it's about 25% darkness on the tint, but you can still clearly make out what's going on behind your car. As we come to a stoplight here, You can almost make out the license plates on those parked cars there. As this car comes by, again, you can almost make out the license plate on that car as well. So overall, even at nighttime, this rear camera does a really good job as well. You'll want to make sure you download the Redtiger dashcam app. Once you download the app, you're going to go through some settings, just setting up your vehicle. You're going to have to set up an account with Redtiger, and then you're going to go to your Wi-Fi. You're going to search for your Redtiger 17 Plus dashcam. And if you notice on here, you want to turn on the Wi-Fi, and there is your password that you will use. So you'll pick the Redtiger Wi-Fi, and then you're going to do the password that's displayed on your screen. Once you get the Wi-Fi all set up, you can see it brings up your dash cam there. And you can go ahead and click on your dash camera. And then it takes you to this screen, which gives you a full live shot of all 4 cameras. As you can see, I'm parked in the garage here. And then right below that's going to be your GPS coordinates. And you can switch through your cameras with this button here. See, there's my front camera, front cabin camera, rear camera, and then the rear cabin camera. And then you got your sound here. You can turn the sound on or off. Back to the main screen here, you can click on dashcam file, and that's going to take you to all your videos that you recorded throughout the day for each camera. So if I just click on one of these videos here, you can see it's going to play the video. It plays the whole 5-minute clip. You can download it, save it to your photo library if you want to, or you can delete it. You can also do full screen. If we check out another video here, here's the front cabin camera. So you can see there's me driving. Same thing, download it, delete it, whatever you want to do with it. This up here is going to be your snapshots, so the pictures that you took. And then your urgent one is going to be your locked videos. And I don't have any saved on there right now. So my final thoughts on the Redtiger F17 Plus dashcam. Do I recommend this product? Absolutely. You know, like Redtiger even says up here, truly peace of mind. It's nice having that peace of mind knowing that it's keeping you and your vehicle safe. You know, it's 2025, and if you're not running a dashcam nowadays, you're not protecting yourself. And like I said earlier, if you're an Uber driver, Lyft driver, this is an absolutely must-have just to keep you safe. Nowadays, there's so many crazy drivers and just crazy people out there. Where I live in Colorado, and we're ranked in the top 10 of some of the worst drivers. And in my area, they do have those red light cameras and also the speed cameras. And it's nice to know that you have footage in case you do need to fight one of those cameras or whatever it may be. Just having this footage, even helping somebody out if you witness an accident, you're riding behind them, or somebody's behind you and they need to use your footage. It's always nice to have that. So I do highly recommend this product. You're getting 4 cameras in one. And even though it's not a 4K camera on the front there, the 2.7 still does a really good job. And if you're interested in buying this product, you can get this on Amazon, or you can buy direct from Redtiger. Check out my description there. I'll have a link down there. I'll also try and include a discount code as well. So if you've been on the fence lately about buying a dash cam, I recommend this one here. And I'm hoping that this little review and installation video helps you out. And if it does, why don't you hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.